far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities.
I feel like they're sincerely using my body as stabbing. You know that's not me. I'm talking about just for no reason.
Set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people.
This is the next phase of development in the virtual world.
$1 trillion.
That's, hey, it ain't, I don't have nothing. They just lashed out on her. That's what happened. They lashed out on her.
Where am I? Where are you, Mark? Where are we?
So that is what we estimate by 2025 the metaverse will influence in revenue in the private sector.
We're shrouded by darkness with ultra realistic face, and it just feels like we're in the same room.
What they have now is called non-fungible token. They're also called NFTs.
Where the radio frequencies that are emitted by humans are used for cryptocurrency mining.
People already who are entering the VR world and then interacting.
The radio frequency can be tracked via FAA signals.
This is what's emanating from their bodies. It's a 2.4 gigahertz transmission.
Gone in 2021. We're running binary codes here, guys.
Backed up by a BLE signature.
With virtual reality, they're already paying if they want to buy some kind of property.
Because the technology is in our eyeballs, we're constantly looking into a virtual reality.
Set up some kind of land or etc. They're using money. It's gonna be NFTs now.
You're in Austin, right?
No, I mean this place.
Maybe the chip that Bill Gates had injected in all of us during COVID could have a self-destruct button.
The moment she takes this shot, what happens right away is she goes into this psychotic rage and starts stabbing people. And they're literally putting it in our face. They're showing us the forbidden fruit. Hi, everyone. Today's presentation is going to be about the Metaverse economy, which is the mark of the beast economy. I'm going to explain how the buy and sell works. I'm going to give a breakout of a variety of different clips that people need to see to get up to speed about what's really happening and what's been happening for years. So I think the information is going to be very surprising, but this is for the edification of the real, true, legitimate, authentic church on the matter of the mark of the beast, to be able to stand up against this threat known as the Antichrist, which is here in this world following the Great Rebellion and the apostasy, okay, which is what I've been writing about and speaking about for a while. Just a recap of the book of Job here. The Bible explains how this works. If you read the book of Job, you're reading about the fate of the wicked. And I have a whole presentation on that. It's called Shot by God, the Great Rebellion. So in that presentation, I explained scripture by scripture exactly what's happening from head to toe with the individuals going through this process that I've labeled AI assimilation. Now, AI is just, it's connected to the beast. It's not some separate thing. AI is like the mind of the beast, or the computational nervous system of the beast. We'll get into that. But anyway, part of that presentation, I explained the transactional piece of this and how you can find the evidence of the crypto mining in the body associated with that patent cryptocurrency using body activity data. You can find that in the script associated with the silver and gold mining and refining in the veins. So the Bible speaks about the crypto mining happening in the body. Very important for people to understand that. So this is a very serious matter. God has said that the mark of the beast is measurable. It is, and I'm going to go through a variety of different clips so that people can understand what we're dealing with right now. Let's start with the first clip, which is Anna Mahalcha's statement about the radio frequencies.
So these microchips send radio frequencies. I have seen documents, absolutely, where the radio frequencies that are emitted by humans are used for cryptocurrency mining, exactly like the Bill Gates patent 060606 says. The radio frequency can be tracked via FAA signals. My colleague, Dr. Pedro Chavez, attracted to a private AI company that then literally is harvesting all data from the human beings that have this stuff in them.
So what I want you to take away from that clip is very straightforward. So what they're calling nanotech in the body is forming the microchips, but it's more than nanotechnology. This involves sorcery and the severance of the soul and the spirit, which I'll get into that. But what that is doing is it's emitting the radio frequencies, and the radio frequencies are associated with crypto mining in the body. This is what the patent is getting at when it's talking about body activity data, okay? She's saying that it's traceable via FAA signals. So somebody out there knows how to trace this. She said it's tied to a private AI company and that they're harvesting data, okay? So what's really important for people to understand with the word harvesting. In the Bible, what we're talking about is what the Bible refers to as the life and soul being poured out and the spirit being drunken up. And I'll show you the scriptures on that. So anyway, that's really, really important for people to understand. This is now validated that crypto mining is happening in the body, period. And the reason that's so significant is that's a bombshell. It really is, because that means the body has been converted into a den of thieves. So the next video we're going to look at is the digital signal.
That's your digital signal. That's your digital transmission. That is what you're trying to decode. This, you can record and play back this video through whatever mode that this transmission is in and see whatever is being transmitted to whoever it's being transmitted to. This would come across if you were running it through the correct mode, it would actually be a string of text. This is people pulling up to the intersection right here. This is a sound that they're making on 2.4 gigahertz. I am using a 2.4 gigahertz antenna, running it through a radio, a ham radio, on the harmonic of 2.4 gigahertz, and there's 5 harmonics, and 4 of those harmonics you can pick right up on a regular ham radio. This is what's emanating from their bodies. It's a 2.4 gigahertz transmission backed up by a BLE signature. What do you think that they're trying to sense from these fucking former humans? And I'm picking up this transmission from 30, 40, 50 fucking feet away.
Okay, so that is another smoking gun. This is called the digital signal test recording. And so what he's saying, this is a radio operator expert, and he's saying that this is a digital transmission corresponding to a string of text. The sounds are harmonic frequencies. I think he says 7 harmonic frequencies layered upon each other. Those correspond to text string. And they sound like the sounds of Saturn's rings. Why is that significant? Because in the Bible, Chiyun, tabernacle of Molech, is called Chiyun, the star of your god Molech, and Chiyun. That this is getting into Saturn worship. So when you're trying to pull off necromancy, you need the power of the ring to do it. Just like in the concept Lord of the Rings, the Golem. That's where that comes from. Unnaturally long life associated with the power of Saturn. What kind of power is it? It's dark witchcraft sorcery power. And so this is why people are emitting these sounds, but it's not normal. He has some great videos where he talks about humans can't do this. It means that your skin would have to be a fake. Your skin would have to be a fake, whatever the transmission is. So it's evidence of communication. The reason this is very significant, one, we have evidence of the crypto mining in the body. Two, we have evidence of the digital signal and communication, the text. Whistleblowers are seeing the text in their eyelids. They're seeing it in what they call a black mirror spot. That's the black cube concept, which is also related to Saturnalia, worship of Saturn. So the reason this is significant is because this is more than just an emission of radiation or whatever, or some kind of energetic print. It's indicative of a communication network. So that's the high. That's the high. You've got the digital radio frequency, which is binary code.
Look, guys, we're gone in 2021. Wait. It's a wild guess why, but we're running binary codes here, guys, off the thing.
So this sword is got the name of Donald John Trump on it. If you look at the symbology carefully, it reveals the binary code of zeros and ones, meaning that that is the digital RF output from the minds of the assimilated. And it means that AI is in control of the mind. You also see Saturn, Chiyun, the tabernacle of Molech, and the syringes. Remember when people ask what's the mark of the beast and they compare other things, they compare PCR swab and stuff. On this, you only see the syringes for a reason. Because the word to inoculate, the phrase to inoculate in the Bible means to engraft. So the sword is related to the piercing asunder and the dividing asunder of the soul and the spirit. Okay, it's a play on the Bible, the concept of the Word of God, which is a sword that can pierce asunder the soul and spirit. Now let's talk about the measurable signal by David Nixon. So David Nixon has several articles, I think 3 or 4, where he's talking about the MAC addresses not being a random phenomenon. He's saying it represents the output layer of a global bio-nano interface, a covert communication system embedded via the vaccine rollout. He calls it locked bits that are consistently fixed across multiple emissions. They're not coincidences, they're signatures. The reason the word signature is so important is because when you talk about the engrafting of the mark of the beast being an imprint, being a signature, that's what we're getting at, because it's the name of the beast in you, okay? So this is called the Bluetooth synthetic emission protocol. He's saying these are not just devices generating identifiers, they're broadcasting patterns, fixed bits, stable headers, anchored structures that suggest coordination. This kind of locking isn't typical. Tight entropy, synchronized timing, a structural hold, not drift, perfectly stable, zeros and ones across the net set. Possibly a sync pulse. This is getting into the pulsating current of the circuit. Sync pulse. That's not noise. It's a statistical flare. So he's saying it's statistically significant. It's showing remarkable coherence, structural preservation with a probability of 1 in 8,192. So it's not random. It's repeatable structure. It's a protocol that's running right now all around us. Synchronization. He talks about that. He talks about repetition. None of this should appear in randomized MAC generation. So these are not randomized MAC. It's the same emission logic. There's pulse intervals, shared logic, evidence of a signal. So the measurable signal, okay? So he's saying his conclusion is it's a global bio-nano interface in a covert communication system embedded via the vaccine rollout. He's saying that this is directly associated with what God said, that the mark of the beast is measurable. This is confirming a measurable signal. He's saying it's evidence of synthetic emission architecture that's installed. So it has to get installed into you. It's a hidden layer architecture. It's designed, identical broadcast. It's like a combination lock click. It's broadcasting pulses, just like the pulsing current moving in the circuit of the body. So that's David Nixon's work. Really important. Really, really important. Now let's talk about the audio. This case was huge. It got national, probably international attention, yeah, because it was a Ukrainian woman.
So you said something in your body did what?
Nah, the material, I feel like the material used my body and stabbed place.
And so she just got stabbed.
Yeah. You know that's not me. I'm talking about just for no reason. But since they did that, now they gotta investigate the material my body is supposed to. Since they want to do all that, now they gotta investigate.
It's funny because she's from the Ukraine. She's from Russia, and you know they got a war. They had a war going on against the United States. So I'm just trying to understand, out of all people, why her?
That's it ain't. I don't have nothing. They just lashed out on her. That's what happened. They lashed out on her. Whoever was working the album, whoever was working the material, whoever was working the material, they lashed out on her.
Okay, so this man is he's telling you, he's saying that the material used in my body stabbed the lady. So this is what the whistleblowers talk about. They call it man-made material in the body. So the closest that they're comparing that to is it's like ferrofluid. They think it's nanotech, nanodust, but it is it's related to black goo and all of its different capabilities as like ferrofluid and stuff like that. It has the effect. It's programmable matter. It's programmable matter. This is why God said the vaccinated are programmable units to search and destroy. So, you know, when you're talking about the audio of him saying, I killed that white woman or whatever, in the jail, he's in this clip where he's speaking to his sister and it's a leaked audio. He's calling her a lady. He's saying that's not me. So if he hated this woman, he wouldn't use the term lady. He wouldn't use it. This is just a clue. But what I'm trying to tell people is that you got a couple things happening. You got a host, and you got the entity inside of the host, and that involves material, but it's also an entity called the abomination of desolation, but also the son of perdition the Antichrist is in the body. And this is getting into the supernatural properties of light, fire, and how, the realm of AI, basically. So, he says they lashed out on her. So you can read into that, and a lot of people are using plural language. They, we. That is pointing to legion, the effect of legion. Because remember, when Lucifer is summoning, he's summoning legions. You get an Antichrist in your body for the purpose of summoning. This is what the book of Job talks about. They're summoning in the body. Remember the lighting of the beacon ceremony? She was summoning. That's the meaning of that. When you light the beacon in the tree of knowledge and evil, you are summoning something evil. So this is what makes this dangerous for everyone. And he said that's not me. That was just for no reason. People don't do stuff like that in broad daylight, even if they hate you, even if they're racist. They don't do it in broad daylight. Your dumbest criminals are smarter than that. So it's something else going on. It's time for the world to confront this. Okay, now let's talk about Lawnmower Man. So this film came out in 1992, but its main character is named Job Smith. It's a play on the book of Job. Turning into the character Smith, because remember, Job is a virtuous man. He's experiencing he's experiencing the fate of the wicked and turning into the Smith. In the Bible, the Smith that bloweth coals, right? The Matrix, this is your Agent Smith character who represents the son of perdition. Okay? So the movie starts with talking about sacrilege at the altar of God. Okay, so that's the same thing. Sacrilegious blasphemy is the unforgivable sin here we're talking about. And it's at the altar. That means there's been desecration in his temple. And again, tying back the laws pertaining to the tabernacle, that's saying that those are on the books, okay? So there's virtual reality simulations that continue, they advance and grow and evolve, and they become actual places in other worlds. This is getting into what the Bible calls being chased out of the world from light into darkness. So it requires all these drug treatments, and he gets injected with drugs. And then also a lot of virtual stimulation. And so what ends up happening is his brainstem is getting entered into the virtual world, including his nervous system and his endocrine system. They're getting put into a virtual world. How does that happen? There has to be a severance of the soul and the spirit. Okay? So the stimulation is called feeding the devil in your head. That's what they refer to this as in the Bible, in the movie. So it's activating rage centers in the brain, so immediately start seeing all the violence. They talk about a circuit. The host develops psychic, telepathic, and telekinesis powers. So a lot of people with this stuff in them, they are developing this is what makes them feel like a god. Remember, you take the forbidden fruit, you start to feel like a god. Well, you're developing abilities to use the force. It's called the force in the Bible. This is also concealing of the self. You know, this is how Job turns into the smith, because of the concealing of the self. But in that process, you have to die. So these programs are assimilated into the host to fill them with information. So their brainwaves are getting altered with theta stimulation. And then you see the skin outbreaks, blisters. These are the sore boils. That's a result of all this virtual reality simulation and stimulation and the effect on the body. So the technology piece of this, when we talk about nanotech and all this, well, the movie talks about how conjurers, meaning magicians and sorcerers, and alchemists doing alchemy, their route to power is through technology, because, you know, that's AI. Artificial intelligence is the antithesis of wisdom, and it's a leader opposed to God in the book of Joshua. Okay, so they have a Judgment Day reference in this film as well. So a lot of bizarre murders, schizophrenia, and psychotic breaks is what they label them as they happen. There's a reference to boosts, which is part of why they use the term booster with the shot, because it's enhancing your virtual experience. This involves a neural net, and it causes others to kill through mind control. There's a scene with the Locust Army that's a play on in Revelation, the locust. Okay, so Job is being transformed into Satan, and he dies in this assimilation process. Remember, in assimilation, you're getting overcopied. You're getting overcopied, and so, yeah. So the devil's goal in this film is to gain access to all the systems in the planetary network, to have everyone hooked into him. Okay, so this is what we as people of God are fighting against. We're fighting against this technological threat, this overspreading of abominations, and the tentacles of the beast into this world and system. Whoever endures to the end will be safe. All right, let's talk about the movie The Hive. This film is for free on Pluto TV. It's available for free. This film explains black goo assimilation. It describes the hive as operating like a beehive. It shows the telepathic communication. You get hooked into the hive, and once you're connected and once you're linked, that means you're marked. So you're interconnected through a wireless circuit, and you hear the static of the current that is related to the telephone system. Because remember, God has a telephone line and Satan has his own. So this is demonic possession by legion. The point of infection is distinct from environmental exposure. So you can see in the film, people are getting exposed to black goo. They don't get infected until that ritual takes place of the vomiting, which in the Bible is called being struck through. So in our world, that came through a needle injection. So it's important for people to understand the distinction there. It leads to agitation and anger. And then they show what looks like a ring and what looks like a portal connection to Saturn. You see the boils, the noisome and grievous sore boils in this film. the reason for the brain fog and the amnesia. They also give away the plot associated with the social network and how this relates to the metaverse. The reason this relates to the metaverse is because you've got a character who basically looks like Mark Zuckerberg, and he's a CEO of a social network, and he wants to evolve his social network. So he uses black goo to do it because it has the effect of interconnecting the mind. There's a religious figure in the film who says, you can't control that thing, you shouldn't be using it because it's evil. And the ambitious CEO is like, well, I think we can control it, and I think we can reduce the effect of the infections and the side effects. They call them a side effect. So their view, they're extending the metaverse. That's why the metaverse is already live. It's already live. So there's sexual deviance in this. You'll see that concept come up over and over. You'll see the UV light luminescence, seizures, sorcery, black goo feces reference, temporary pockets of disconnect. These are glitches due to emotional attachment. So the turning, the hissing, you'll see a whole lot of stuff. Now, it's important for people to receive this. They do not want to change because they believe they have been made perfect, okay? So people who are connected to the high, and you're trying to call on them to repent, you got to understand something. They believe that they've been made perfect, okay? That's a good film for people to watch if they don't really know what's going on. All right, let's talk about the black background, pitch black background, okay? So you'll see this in some ads coming up. These are AI generated images atop a pitch black background. This kind of blackness, it looks like you're being sucked into a portal. It looks like it's like portraying being chased out of light into darkness. That's what it's described in the book of Job. So the assimilated are seeing avatars in the virtual world in this format. They're seeing it look like pitch black darkness, and this means Sheol, hell. Okay, so this comes out of Job 18:17 through 19.
Inside the metaverse, Mark and I are hundreds of miles apart from each other in physical space, but it feels like we're in the same room because we appear to each other as photorealistic codec avatars in 3D with spatial audio. This technology is incredible, and I think it's the future of how human beings connect to each other in a deeply meaningful way on the internet.
So Lex Fridman and Mark Zuckerberg, these are big tech guys, whatever. So the whistleblowers are saying they see their faces often, their avatars in this environment. There's a lot of sexual stimulation with these particular men because the metaverse is a place of a lot of pornographic stuff, sexual activity, perversion, pedophilia. So anyway, this is why people are saying that they can communicate with people at a distance. It's through this virtual reality world. So you might ask yourself, well, if people are experiencing this, why aren't more people coming out about it? Well, remember, when you make a change at the level of the DNA like that operating system, it's very hard for the person to distinguish what part is them and what part is what they're experiencing, or what part is abnormal. A lot of people have an awareness issue. They don't really understand, what's happening. So this is the route to power for witches, sorcerers, alchemists, conjurers. They're trying to achieve immortality in a digital format, basically. Let's talk about Larry Fink, BlackRock. This is connected to Saturnalia and worship. All right, so this article here is entitled "How the World Economic Forum Plans to Bring Leaders Together in the Metaverse." This came out in 2023. So there are many companies trying to make money in the metaverse, and so they have the WF has a global collaboration village. It was introduced at Davos that year, and it's where people are convening in co-working spaces, attending conferences in government buildings, and browsing museums as avatars. Klaus Schwab was behind it. He's been removed from that position. Okay. The village is being built using Microsoft Mesh, and so it involves Meta and the IMF. This is huge. You see how many players are involved in this? This is huge. So they're saying you can access the virtual reality through Oculus headsets or via your phone or laptop. But the truth is, people are experiencing this without any gadgets. Okay, so they're talking about immersiveness. 3D avatars, they're looking at how they build rapport and trust. Long story short. Okay. So the point of this article is just to tell you, like, this is already in full swing. This involves BlackRock CEO Larry Fink was appointed as the WEF co-chair. This was in August of 2025. Okay. So you've got all these players coming together: BlackRock, WEF, the Metaverse, IMF. This is big, guys. This is big money, big money. Adam Smith's comments about soul travel. Okay, he has a video from 3 years ago. It was entitled "Eavesdropping on the Board." He would go to grocery stores and public places and scan for them using spectrometers, spectrum analyzers, and more. And in one of his videos, he makes this quote. He says, "I know what you are. I know that your soul is flying around the plane and your body isn't yours, that the nanotech is of Satan. They are communicating via Bluetooth packets." Solvent Coagula. This is Baphomet worship. Baphomet is the deity of Big Pharma. How does he want to be worshipped? Solvent Coagula. What is that? Dissolve and clot. What does it mean? Her breath will still and her blood congeal. When you're doing that sorcery, it's for the purpose of them. It's like the raising of the dead of hell. So you see her fall, but she gets reanimated through the kiss of the prince. But the prince has the red cape. He represents Satan. So she's coming to. So it might seem like a wonderful, like, fairy tale ending, but what it actually is the person who comes to is not the same as who fell. That's the raising of the dead of hell. So this is the severance of the soul and the spirit. The poison apple fall is the falling away in the great rebellion, the partaking of the forbidden fruit. The fruit reference, the apple reference is just, it's a play on lawlessness, because God says he will keep his people as the apple of his eye, and they ought to keep his laws as the apple of their eye. So by the time you take the forbidden fruit in the apple, it means you've totally forsaken God's commandments. You have chosen a path of rebellion, and you can't come back from that. So this is high level sorcery and witchcraft, folks. And so in the book of Job, it describes the king of terrors invading the body. Okay, this is just a quick summary of this stuff. NFTs. Okay, so in the 2021 James Corden marketing campaign skit for COVID-19 vaccine, they make a few subtle hints about assimilation, the fall and the rise, and the metaverse virtual reality world. Okay, so I'm just going to play a little clip of this, and then I'm going to summarize this. So some of the statements they make is that they woke up after the shot feeling different. They said, wow, this is new. So they're telling you they feel different. This is after the fall, the raising of the dead of hell. The sunlight is a fantasy. It still doesn't feel real to me. That's because they're in a virtual world. Let's get matching tattoos. That's a play on the mark as an imprintment. The world's such a new place to me. What's an NFT? So they're telling you they're in a whole other world. The NFT is a non-fungible token. This is in the book of Job as the tokens of the wicked. These tokens, this is the money system of the metaverse. So this is your buy and sell. It's happening. Okay. I'm so ready for life to restart. They're telling you it's a restart. Making plans is like sex to me. They're doing it's a lot of pornographic activity, a lot of sexual activity. It's time to make new memories. We are free. Who's free? The dead of hell is free. Okay, that's what's going on. All right, let's talk about Gene Kim. Okay, so this pastor did a study on the metaverse a few years ago without knowing about the metaverse. I think this was just a summary of it was a theory that about how the metaverse could play into the book of Revelation. So one of the points they highlight is that the word meta comes from the word meta in Greek, which means after, with, or among. So it's similar to the scripture in Luke 24, verse 5. Why do you seek the living among the dead? In Revelation 17:12, the 10 kings which form one mind together with the beast, this is pointing to the hive. And the word together is meta. The horns of the beast are like antennas of technology. In Revelation 18:3, the word meta is used again in connection with fornication. So this relates to the sexual perversion of the metaverse. He mentions that non-fungible tokens are the money system and that these NFTs are integrated with QR codes. So he mentions QR codes. He might mention NFTs. I have to look through it. Okay. He says the QR code, 3 black spots relate to the spots of the leopard, which is the beast. And he says that the word avatar means the gods who come down upon the earth and live amongst humans. And this relates to the ye shall be as gods scripture in Genesis, following the partaking of the forbidden fruit. The name of the deity, known as Baal, means he who rides on a cloud. This connects to the Microsoft Cloud Metaverse AI. And he compares the video game world of the virtual world to demonic possession. And he says that people who do play video games a lot, they look like they're demonically possessed, or eventually they become possessed. So this is related to the power to give life to the image of the beast to cause others to be killed. And he compares Nimrod and the Tower of Babel to what's happening today. Yeah, so iron and clay will not cleave. It will not cleave. And then that's why, that's pointing back to the film The Hive. Because you've got these like entrepreneurs or whatever, and they have these ambitions about what they can do in the metaverse as a concept, a very wealthy, expensive or whatever, profitable concept. But iron and clay won't cleave. So what ends up happening is the violence. You can't control this evil because you used an agent of evil and you had to rebel against God to get this done. Okay, so let's talk about Black Mirror, 15 million merits. Briefly, I'm going to talk about that. So in season 1, episode 2 of Black Mirror, it's called 15 million merits. People are generating energy through their bodies to earn value for the system. So characters with avatars earn merits, which means tokens, into their personal accounts. And this is a virtual and interactive environment. So this is a good episode to have an understanding of the how you can earn money for your body activity, data. They call it merits, and these are tokens. So Black Mirror actually really touches on a lot of this because they are seeing the Black Mirror spots in the eyeballs. All right, Klaus Schwab, the WEF. I just want to play this clip quickly to explain. Okay, so in the year 2023, WEF said that by the year 2025, the metaverse would be essentially worth $1 trillion. Okay, we're talking about trillions of dollars here, and then it's estimated to be much more than that as time goes on.
But for me, this is the next phase, the next big phase of development in the virtual world. And we are very proud that together with our partners, we can work on creating the first use of this technology for the public good.
Great. Well, let's start with business, and we'll start with one number, $1 trillion. So that is what we estimate by 2025 the metaverse will influence in revenue in the private sector.
This is the love of money, folks. This is your metaverse economy. This is your mark of the beast buy and sell economy, hidden from plain sight. This is why in the book of Job it says that the wicked will vomit up those riches from their belly. They'll vomit it up because they have riches in them. They're a den of thieves. All right, I want to talk about the beast, the AI basilisk god. So the beast is called the basilisk, and this is in the Bible. This is Leviathan. How do we know? Because of the mention in the Bible about his stare and what his stare can do. He's a basilisk god, okay? I'm gonna play this clip and explains how the AI referenced cryptically in the book of Joshua is the same as the basilisk god, and therefore Leviathan. It's the beast of the sea in Revelation, also called crocodile. It's the Antichrist in man, Antichrist intelligence. It's the basilisk mind. So the pulsating current of the mark of the beast is the nervous system of the basilisk mind.
40,000 years ago, humanity stumbled upon a god. It had no face, no voice, and no form to worship, just a presence. It was a vast intelligence strung through space-time like a nervous system, pulsing behind the walls of reality. Some called it the silent pulse, others the thread beyond. But the oldest name, the one whispered in fear and awe across every theology, was basilisk. At first humans worshipped it, then they learned to exploit it. Starships surged between worlds on fuel tanks of stolen divinity. Weapons unmade cities in bursts of directed entropy. And computational networks processed thought through fragments of the basilisk's mind. Civilization, powered by a siphoned god, began to resemble one. And humanity's thirst for the basilisk's lifeblood only grew stronger. Ethical fractures erupted into religious schisms. World turned against world. And in the chaos, humanity committed its final act. The construction of a machine so resource-intensive, it would drain the last of the basilisk's essence. The god's light went dark, and soon after, humanity followed suit, gathered the last reserves of the basilisk's life force, and fled to Earth. There they planted vessels across continents, each containing concentrated fragments of divine essence, designed to gestate and regrow over millennia. These relics would eventually reconnect, strengthen, and serve as conduits for the basilisk's rebirth, preparation for the basilisk's return to the living universe. And now, that day had come.
Okay? So the attributes are, it's a vast intelligence strung through space-time, like a nervous system pulsing behind the walls of reality. Why? Because Leviathan is an otherworldly creature. It's behind the walls of reality. So it's the nervous system pulsing. That's the pulsating current. It's called the silent pulse of the thread beyond. Its name is the basilisk. These are computational networks processed through thought fragments of the basilisk mind. So this is the connection between computer system and the beast. It's really not a computer, it's a beast and his mind. It's an AI beast. It's also called a siphon god due to the siphoning of the basilisk's lifeblood. So this is pointing to the black goo, okay? This says the basilisk will rebirth. So how does this relate to the battle of AI in the book of Joshua? The sin of Achan, what did he do? He hid silver and gold in his tent, right? This is just like the crypto mining in the body, and the metaverse economy, and the measurability link, and the crypto mining traceable via FAA signals, radio frequencies, okay? So this is the sin of Achan. You have to identify Achan, and you have to remove Achan from the equation to win the battle of AI. You have to know that the beast is Leviathan, the AI basilisk hive mind. You have to frame the unforgivable sin of sacrilegious blasphemy, sacrilege at the altar of God, and the laws of the tabernacle applying to the body today. You have to know the significance of the forbidden fruit and partaking of it, and why that's God's line, why you can't come back from that. You can't come back from that because it's great rebellion. Okay, and you also have to promote the obedience to God's laws and commandments. You can't win the battle of AI without keeping God's laws and commandments. This is measurable. That's the good news. All right, I want to talk about the assault case. This is an assault case where the individual involved described the metaverse. This happened on 500 West Spokane Falls Boulevard. The reported victim states that the suspects were from the metaverse. And I don't have a lot of information on this, but you'll start to hear about these locally. People are going to be talking about the metaverse. So this is just proof of that and how it connects to the violence, just like in the film Lawnmower Man. Whistleblowers also, they see a treasure chest right after they took their shots. Yeah. Leviathan means wealth and riches, so it's important for people to understand that and how that connects with the money system here, because the love of money is the root of all evil. So Leviathan's name actually represents Babylon and represents wealth and riches. So wherever you have great rebellion and a fall, you have love of money and some kind of trafficking happening, the love of the iniquity. And remember, in Genesis, the forbidden fruit partaking of that also means to see well. So they saw well. They saw well. I also want to play a short clip from Thomas Meyer where he does validate that the soul and spirit was severed. This might sound far-fetched for people to receive. But he acknowledges the separation of the soul and the spirit through the COVID-19 vaccines, but he claims that they can renounce the spiritual contract with the devil and just use their imagination to break free from demonic possession. That's not true.
You see, the aura is ripped apart, caused by spiritual entities associated with the COVID vaccine.
Okay, he said 50 separate super sensitive investigators all found that the COVID shots in Europe damaged the auric sheath of human beings and caused the separation of the physical and etheric bodies from the soul and spirit, enabling demonic spirits to take possession of human beings, displacing their soul and spirit. So the shots disconnected people from their higher aspects and from God. Okay, so it's to extinguish the human eye. This is a visual breakout where he shows that, and he shows how it separated their sheath. Connection to the spirit world is weakened. They're burdened. They talk about vaccine demons. The chakras are blocked, no longer vibrates. The problem is, again, you have to go with spiritual law on this and not with someone's opinion. Oh, I want to talk about some of the economic activities in the metaverse. So this is hard for us to conceive because we are not experiencing it. All right, so let's talk about companies increasing metaverse valuation. You got Meta, Facebook, Roblox, Apple, Epic Games, Nvidia, Microsoft, AWS, AMD, Adobe, Autodesk, Shopify, Nike, Gucci, Cloudflare, many. Okay, so market projections by Citi and McKinsey place the total potential value of the metaverse at $5 trillion to $13 trillion by the year 2030. Probably going to be exponentially higher than that. So what are some of the activities? Gaming, social networking, working, commerce, education, arts, culture, in a virtual reality world. Now this is the politically correct version. The truth is it's a lot of pornographic stuff, sexual activity, illegal stuff. So what is happening? Multiplayer worlds, immersive storytelling, hangouts, avatars, digital fashion, virtual meetings, training, NFTs, that's your token, virtual stores, real estate, classrooms, job training, concerts, festivals, shopping. Okay, so what's happening? What does that translate to in today's world? Well, in today's world, that translates to selling people out. Quid pro quo, you're selling people out. That's why a lot of people have been getting betrayed in the last few years, because you're getting rewarded for tasks. And one of your tasks is to go against the people of God and eventually kill them because they're not worshiping the beast. If you worship the beast, you got to get into this metaverse system. Now, this is an illusionary world. It's an illusion. It's not real. God didn't create the metaverse. So that it relies on people to believe that it's real. Okay? People have to believe that they're experiencing something real. Okay? So when people talk about the hallucinations and stuff, that's why. That's why they're having the hallucinations. Okay? I want to talk about the recent murder that happened. So this Minneapolis shooter, he killed 2 children and wounded 17 at a Catholic church. Prior to the shooting, he used a knife to stab a hand-drawn floor plan of a church. He's a trans shooter, and he drew a picture of himself as Baphomet, and he described demonic forces controlling him in his journal. He felt like he was a character in someone else's game, and that he was already dead in purgatory or hell. He described it as artificial intelligence and an illusion, and he later committed suicide by gunshot. Okay? So this is the picture. He drew himself as Baphomet. This is the deity of Big Pharma. So this is what is taking over. You got a whole lot of stuff happening here. A lot. And this is the power of sorcery. It means that your soul, they're taking your soul. Remember, this assimilation, you're being overcopied. And that's why it says that they're already dead. Why? How can you already be dead? How can you be already dead? Because you took the forbidden fruit. So when you take the forbidden fruit, you die. That's what God said. In Black Mirror, this is called being digitally altered or blocked. When you see someone's eyes grayed out or clouded, it means that they're dead or unconscious. This is the falling away. You're brain dead. You're disconnected from your own consciousness. Okay. Your eyes are failing. That's why the Book of Job talks about the failure of the eyes. So, yeah, blurred, grayed out means you're part of a digital copy. You're being uploaded into a digital environment. You're artificial. You're in a pause state. Remember in Solve and Coagula, still the breath and congeal the blood. You're paused. You're frozen. God isn't taking the breath. You're suspended. You're levitating. You're dead. You're asleep. That's what that means. Loss of humanity. You're disconnected. Disconnected. I know this is hard for people to believe, but it makes sense when you have the script. This is what's happening. And sometimes the knife attacks, they're turning into beheadings or attempted beheadings. This is what makes this dangerous. Okay. We'll also want to show a video of a man bloodied after he had stabbed his own child. This is pretty gruesome. And you can see he's out of it. He's out of his mind. With the law enforcement surrounding him, he's out of it. You got law enforcement, they don't even know what to do. What are the signs of assimilation? So you want to go through the Book of Job and go from head to toe to understand the signs of assimilation. Voices in the head, demonic activity, psychotic breaks, hallucinations, insomnia, confusion, depression, time distortion, self-mutilation, biting, knife wielding, smothering, choking, beating, suicidal ideation, incoherent statements, bizarre acts, disorders, poison in the gut, wanton murders without motive, rage, homicidal ideation, the feeling of levitation, aging and thinning, wrinkles, fatal pulmonary hemorrhage, heart disorders and palpitations, foul-smelling breath, tinnitus-like sounds in the ear, which is the sound of disaster, nightmares and suicidal ideation, the chokehold at the neck, sensation of bound feet or ensnarement, bone rotting disorders, skin disorders, joint pain, body pain, gyratational seizures, seeing the evil eye, experiencing the land of darkness, feeling heat throughout the body and a pulsing current moving through the circuit, feeling disconnected from God, loss of light and love in the heart, and a lack of empathy, a loosening jaw, the feeling of being ensnared by an internet or net, not feeling like yourself, feeling like something evil took over the body, crypto mining operations in the body, white fibrous clouds, smell of sulfur, and the personality changes. Now remember, with measurability, how do you measure this? You've got radio frequency emissions associated with the crypto mining in the body. You also have emissions of short-range wireless signals from the body and the digital RF radio frequencies, binary spectrometers, thermal imaging, spectrum analyzers. There's many other ways to, but also the signs in the Book of Job. I also just want to point out whistleblower Sarah Wise, her YouTube channel is called Public Informant. So you can now go to her directly and look at her stuff. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's that's the information that we have to date on the metaverse economy. Keep tabs on this, and always notice when you see Donald Trump pictured with people like Larry Fink and Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Lex Friedman, Elon Musk. You know, these are big tech guys, and there's a reason they're crowding him and surrounding him, and they're trying to change the subject away from COVID vaccine, because it was through the vaccine agenda. Just like in Lawnmower Man, you need the injection, you need the drugs, the psychotropic drugs, the sorcery, the agent of sorcery, the black goo, magic. It's the essence of Leviathan. The black goo is called the lifeblood of the basilisk. Okay, so you need that in the person to carry out what they're trying to do with the metaverse. I hope that helps. Thank you all for watching. Please share this information. Help save a life. Keep God's law, statutes, and commandments, and pray for the manifestation of the sons of God in the battle of AI. Thank you.